Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, time play for you. Series videos I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie, this does sound delicious. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering around about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, Mega Buster, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. And folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, folks? Well, it happens to be my Mega Ran shirt. Very cool shirt. I love this shirt. If you're unfamiliar with Mega Ran, he is a hip-hop nerdcore artist who's been doing it for quite a while now. I mean, he's definitely, I would say, probably part of like that, if not first generation of nerdcore artists, like certainly like 1.5. You know, he was definitely in that sort of initial run. And he's one of the ones who's still doing it. You know, unfortunately, a lot of nerdcore rappers and nerdcore artists tend to kind of drop off eventually. But he's been doing it. He's been extremely successful. The guy's been everywhere. And I mean, he pumps out albums. Like every year you're getting multiple albums from the guy. Like, that's how freaking amazing he is. I've been fortunate enough. I've seen him perform a number of times. Genuinely one of my favorite artists. And on top of that, just one of my favorite human beings. Like, he's never been anything but just incredibly awesome every time that I've, met him and talked with him and stuff. He's just an all-around good dude. I love his stuff. I have a whole bunch of videos of his performances that I've attended. They're on the channel in case you want to check them out. If nothing else, be more than happy to kind of point you in the right direction of his music, because I think he's an incredible artist. And just, again, really good dude. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Why does it sound delicious? Well, folks, that's because it happens to be a boom. It is a caramel apple pie concrete from Freddy's. And I've reviewed some stuff from Freddy's periodically. It's not a thing I do regularly, but, typically if I kind of pass the one that's in my area, I'll try to get in there. I've always had sort of a hit or miss relationship with Freddy's. They got some good stuff. They also got some stuff that I don't think is all that great. But this is like one of their seasonal items. So I was like, dude, let's get in on this. Let's make it happen. So, and I got a steak burger to try after this. So hopefully it's good. This whole thing, the concrete plus the steak burger combo is about $20. So, So let's get a thing for the thing. Kind of do it like this, and we'll just like, ha 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 ha. Yeah, lighting's terrible. Ooh. Whoa, yeah. That's a good time. That's a really good time. I mean, I love the cinnamon on top. It's a simple little flourish, but it really does make a big difference to the overall flavor profile. Especially for me when I think of a caramel apple pie. Man, I haven't had one of those in so long. Not since I was working back in my bakery days. We didn't even make them. We bought them in. But no, that's really tasty, man. Nice chunks of apple too. Like, you bite into it, it's still got that crispness, got a nice apple flavor. This is really tasty, man. One thing I will say, though, how it works against it, the structural integrity of it is not the most concrete-y, if you get my meaning. Because when you think of concrete, probably the most famous place is Culver's, right? I've reviewed plenty of stuff from Culver's. That's one of the things they're really known for. And, Freddy's is definitely like a direct competitor. I'm not going to lie and say that I don't have a certain bias, because at the end of the day, Culver's for me kicks the shit out of Freddy's. I just think everything they do, they just do, better than what Freddy's does. And although I do really like the flavor of this is another example where it's like, if you're getting a concrete from from Culver's, it's going to be nice, it's going to be thick, it's still going to hold that structural integrity. This, despite the fact that I ordered it not very long before doing the review, it's soft, it's a little bit watery. It feels like it's been sitting in my car with me for a little bit, but that's not the case. So I do have to kind of deduct points for that, because you call it a concrete, I'm expecting some proper structural integrity. However, the flavors are really good. Not only are they all very well defined, again, cinnamon's a great add. Definitely has that kind of sweetened caramel kind of flavor to it. And that the apple it's one of those things, all the flavors work. It's a perfect flavor combination. And it's, being executed pretty well. Again, could have been less soupy. But the flavors do really work. Like, this is one where all they really had to do was make sure that all the flavors were there. And of course it was going to work, because again, classic flavor combination. It's really tasty. It's really good. I'm not going to lie. If they'd gotten the consistency right, this would have been a full-on winner for me. But because the consistency on it is so shot to hell, yeah, I definitely have to deduct some points for that. But two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Yes, with caveats. Yes, with caveats. Here's the thing. Would I get this again? Flavor-wise, absolutely. I really like this. It represents the flavor as well. It is evocative of that caramel apple pie, flavor that, I personally, again, haven't had in a very long time. But biting into it, definitely got that immediate response in my head, which I liked. But texture. Maybe their machine, I don't know how their whole setup works. Maybe something about it was a little bit off. Like, it's not like I was there, like, waiting for it for a long period of time. So, was it sitting out or something? Like, did maybe somebody order one and then left and then I don't know. I don't know why it would be this gloopy, because, like, I'm certain I've had at least one other concrete from Freddy's, and the structural integrity was much more akin to what you would expect. So the caveat is, would I get it again? Yeah, but I need it to be a concrete and not a goopy mess. And that, I think, is the same thing for if I'm recommending it. Again, flavors are there. It's really tasty. Honestly, I would say it's probably one of the best tasting things I've had from Culver's. Probably ever. Because, again, I think the flavors are they're iconic in their own way, especially in that sort of American holiday-esque type of time. It hits. But again, you got to get the consistency right. So if you've got a Freddy's near you and they're doing a good job with the consistency on their stuff, then absolutely. If not, you might maybe pass on it. So 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there yourselves a truly caramel apple pie-tastic rest of your life. I wish the bakery that I worked at was still open. I would love to, if they were still around, I would have genuinely loved to have gone over there and reviewed some of their products. But sadly, the whole COVID thing pretty much put them down, so they had to close up shop. But, final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do can't do it all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, what's your... you know what? Here, what was, one of your earlier jobs that you had? And do you have any fond memories of it, or was it just a shit show? For me personally, like I said, I did some time working at a supermarket bakery. I worked at a GameStop for a little bit. Kind of putzed around a little bit, before I kind of got into what I do now. So, but I'd be interested to hear, if, like I said, you got anything that you want to share about that, because sometimes you get some fun memories and stuff. Other times, not so much. But anyway,